Your background could look like mountains with colored pencil, which this background is not finished yet. But I want to encourage you, if you like using your watercolors, use your watercolor. And here's a quick tutorial on how to paint with watercolor. You need a jar of water or any container. A plastic cup from the recycling would work just fine. You'll dip your brush into your water and then dip it into the color you're using. In this case, I'm using purple. You swirl it around, and this is going to be your darkest color of purple because you only have one dip of water in it. So you want to go to your darkest spot on your painting, and you can move your brush in all the directions you want it to go. So when my paint starts to get streaky like this, it means I need more water. So I dip my brush back in the water and I pull the color using the water. So I don't need to go back and add more paint every time. Sometimes you just need a little more water. Because with watercolors, you are painting with the water, not the paint. When we use tempera paint or acrylic, then we're painting with the paint itself. But watercolors is unique because really it needs the water to do anything. If you don't have watercolors or don't want to use watercolors, then you can use crayons, colored pencils, markers, paper. I really want to see how creative you guys can get. How unique and different can you think of how to fill your background? Your forest could be abstract, and you could just have all patterns and colors and textures in the background. Or you could make a more realistic background. You could have a forest landscape. You could draw a mountain. You could make a farm or a field. This is your environment that you're creating. So make what your imagination brings you to. I'm feeling an abstract background for this. So I'm going to go through and use wavy lines, and then I'm going to color them in. This isn't super creative, but it's still showing some creativity. I want you to be as creative as you can be. But just for the purpose of me showing you how to do this, I'm doing something quick and easy. And if you really like this, there's no shame in that either, because I still think it's really cool. And sometimes simplicity is also really nice and what's best. There's so many different art styles, and that's what's so cool about art is it's pretty hard to get it wrong. I believe that everyone can be a successful artist if your intention is to have fun and experiment. So keep working on your background, filling in your positive and negative space. If you want to leave some negative space for a purpose, I'm cool with that. I just want to hear you explain why. Why would you leave negative space? Because I'm filling mine with all positive space. There's going to be color on everything for my drawing. But why might an artist leave it different? Maybe in their world, in their forest, it's in a tundra, which is kind of like Antarctica. It's super freezing. And maybe if you have a bunch of negative space, which is white paper, maybe there's a snowstorm going on. Use your imagination to create your dream forest. Right now, I'm just letting my intuition guide me. Your intuition is that little voice in your head that tells you what to do. So I'm just letting my hand choose whatever color it wants. I'm not thinking too hard about this. Just relaxing, enjoying, and feeling the motion of these wavy lines. As I look at these wavy lines for longer and at a distance, they actually remind me a lot of hills in a really broad, wide open area, which I didn't get to see for a while because I, just like you guys, lived in a city. So some of you guys, just like me when I was a kid, have never even seen the wilderness or the countryside. But someday, I hope you will. Because in the meantime, we can make art that takes us anywhere we want. So my background is finished. I want everybody to pause working on their background as you watch how we're going to finish our artwork. So we have our birch trees that we cut out, and they are the same length as our paper. So it's pretty simple. You're going to decide how you want to arrange your trees. So I would cut out more of these and arrange all of them. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to show you how I would assemble 2 of them. So let's say I want these 2 to be right here. I'm going to take my glue stick, wind it up so it's a little bit tall, but does it need to be this tall? No, it does not. So keep it about this height. And then on my cardboard, so that I don't get glue on my paper, or if you don't have a piece of cardboard or scrap paper, you can glue like this, where you push the paper down on top of the glue, getting it extra gluey on the top and the bottom. So this is another way you can glue things down carefully. And then stick it onto the paper right where you want it to go. You can add more details like branches too by taking your Sharpie and drawing some diagonal lines coming from your tree. I'm going to add another tree now. And if you understand how to layer your foreground, which is the front of this artwork, if you understand how you're going to glue your birch tree foreground down, then you can start working on that. Or you can go back to finishing your background so that you have time to start working on your foreground. So there is the beginning of my forest. Start working on your own forest, and you can always glance back up at the video to watch me continue to work on this forest. My forest is almost finished, and I'm working fast, so I do not expect you to have your forest finished right now. What? Sometimes words get mixed up. So if you are working really quickly like me, then I'm going to show you an extension of what you can add to your forest if you get finished early. If you are still working on your background, then that is perfectly fine too. I love how you are taking your time, and there is no shame in that, because that's my problem as an artist. Sometimes I work too quickly and I look back and I'm like, rats, if I would have taken more time, I would be more satisfied with the end product. So we all work at different speeds, and it is okay no matter where you are at with your art speed. If you are finished though, I want to show you something we can do. So we have these scrap pieces of paper now, and to reduce our waste, we can use these to make more art. So taking any kind of colored pencil or marker, I want you to just kind of scribble and make a pattern on it. You can use one color or you can use more than one color. It's up to you. Because we can make all kinds of animals that would live in trees using these. So there's my little pattern that I've made. And now I'm going to draw the shape of a bird. So the shape of a bird, you use a curved line, you make that pointy, and then you can make a little beak. So then you take your scissors and you can cut out your bird shape so that it can sit in your trees. What other animals could live in these trees? So again, I'm gonna take my glue. I'm gonna do this the quick and easy way. Well, I don't know if it's easy, but it is quick. And then I think this will go right there, that bird. You can add more details. You could add feet if you wanted. You could add an eye. So see what you can make to be on the trees too. You could also cut out leaves using one curved line with scissors and another curved line with scissors. And now we have a leaf that we could add to our tree anywhere we want. All right, well, this concludes the lesson for today. I can't wait to see your birch tree forests, and I hope you enjoyed class. I'll see you next week.